The colony world of Erden was quiet that morning. Thin clouds drifted across the pale sky as the twin suns rose over the rocky hills. Liam walked across the uneven ground, with his tool bag slung over his shoulder. He was 23 years old, and worked as a repairman for the small settlement. Most days he fixed broken water pumps or patched up old machines. Today was different. 2 days ago, a ship had crashed far from the colony. The blast had been seen from miles away, and many people said it must have been an alien vessel. No one had gone to look yet because the settlement leaders feared it might be dangerous. Liam was curious, and he had always been the type to fix broken things. He told no one where he was going and set out before sunrise with a simple plan. If there were parts worth salvaging, he would bring them back. When he reached the crash site, he stood still for a moment. The wreck was larger than he expected. Twisted metal lay scattered across the ground. A dark trail marked where the ship had slid before coming to rest against a ridge. The air smelled faintly of burned fuel. Liam stepped carefully as he entered the wreck. His boots crunched on bits of broken metal. The interior was quiet except for the soft hiss of venting gases. Most of the ship was destroyed, but he could see that parts of the hull were made from strange alloys unlike anything humans used. He thought about how valuable some of the pieces might be to the settlement. As he searched through the wreck, he noticed something near a shattered doorway. A figure lay motionless on the floor. It was wearing a suit of armor that looked unlike anything he had ever seen. The armor was sleek and curved with a faint glow along its edges. Liam froze in place. He could not tell if the figure was alive or dead. He knelt beside it and tapped on the helmet. There was no response. After a moment of hesitation, he pressed a hand to the chest plate. It was warm, which meant some power still flowed through the suit. Liam swallowed hard. Carefully, he looked over the armor. There were deep cracks on one side as if it had taken a heavy blow. The power core on the back was flickering weakly. Liam had fixed many machines, but never anything like this. Still, something inside him refused to leave the figure to die. Using his tools, he pried open a panel. Near the core, strange symbols glowed on the inside. He did not understand the language, but he could see loose wires and burned circuits. He pulled out a small repair kit and began working with steady hands. He replaced a cable with one of his own and bridged a gap with a piece of metal scrap. Minutes passed. Liam kept glancing at the helmet, hoping for a sign of movement. The power core gave a faint pulse, but it was still too weak. He adjusted a connector and tightened it. Suddenly, the glow on the chest plate grew brighter. The figure stirred. The helmet turned slightly. Liam stepped back in surprise. The armored figure sat up slowly, as if waking from a long sleep. Liam raised his hands to show he meant no harm. The figure looked at him for a long moment. Then a soft voice spoke from the helmet. The words were in clear human language, though. The accent was strange. "Did you fix my armor?" the voice asked. Liam hesitated before answering. "I tried. I think the power is stable now." The figure tilted its head as if studying him. Then it said gently, "Thank you." Liam felt a wave of relief. He had saved someone even if he had no idea who or what she was. The figure placed a hand on the ground and stood up with surprising grace. Despite the damage to the armor, as she looked around the wreck, her posture straightened. Liam noticed that even injured, she carried herself like someone important. He opened his mouth to ask who she was, but before he could speak, the sound of engines roared in the distance. He turned and saw several ships descending from the sky. They were sleek and silver, shaped like blades of light. They landed in a wide circle around the wreck. Liam's heart pounded. Dozens of armored warriors stepped out of the ships. Each of them wore armor similar to the figure he had just helped. They approached quickly, and when they reached her, they all dropped to one knee. Liam stared in shock. He had no idea who she was, but it was clear she was not an ordinary soldier. The figure looked at him, and her voice carried both strength and gratitude. "You have done more than you know." Liam had no answer. He only knew that whatever he had just stepped into was far bigger than a simple repair job. The sound of the alien ships faded as they powered down. Liam stood frozen while the armored warriors remained kneeling before the woman he had just helped. She slowly lifted her helmet from her head. For the first time, Liam saw her face. Her skin was a pale silver tone, and her eyes glowed faintly like soft blue lights. Her hair was long and dark, falling over her shoulders. She looked both strong and calm. With a presence that felt commanding without words, the warriors waited silently, their heads bowed. The woman turned to Liam and stepped closer. "You saved my life," she said in her accented but clear voice. "Without you, my armor would have failed, and I would not have survived until my people arrived." Liam shifted uneasily. "I just fixed what I could," he replied. "I didn't even know who you were." Her lips curved slightly in what might have been a small smile. "That is why your action means more. You helped without knowing what it would bring you. Such people are rare." She gestured to the warriors. "Stand," she commanded. At once, they rose to their feet in perfect unison. They formed a protective circle around her, their weapons ready though no threat was near. Liam glanced at the ships. They were sleek and elegant, unlike the bulky human craft he was used to repairing. Strange symbols glowed faintly along their hulls. He realized how far beyond human technology these aliens were. The woman studied him for a long moment, then spoke again. "What is your name, Liam?" he said. "I am Arya," she replied. "I am a commander of my people. My ship was destroyed in battle. I would have perished if not for you." Liam felt his stomach twist. He had not expected to be speaking with someone so important. "I didn't do much," he said quietly. "The armor was already advanced. I just patched it up." "You underestimate your skill," Arya said. "No human I have met could have done this without training. You are not like most." Liam did not know how to respond. He was only a repairman who liked to tinker with machines. He never thought that simple curiosity and stubbornness would lead to this moment. Arya turned to one of her soldiers and spoke. In her own language, the soldier nodded and ran back to one of the ships. Moments later, he returned with a small case. Arya opened it to reveal several glowing crystal-like tools. "This is part of my personal armor system," she explained. "It is still unstable. I must trust you again to finish what you started." Liam blinked. "You want me to repair it more?" "Yes," she said. "You understand machines differently than my people. You see solutions where others see failure. Will you try?" He looked at the glowing tools in the case. His heart pounded, but he nodded. "I can try," he said. The warriors stepped aside to give him space. Liam knelt next to Arya and studied the damaged sections, with the alien tools in hand. He opened the side panel of her armor again. Inside, the circuits pulsed faintly with light. He could see where power was leaking through broken lines. He worked slowly, asking Arya to explain symbols he did not understand. She translated where she could, though some systems had no human equivalent. Liam replaced connectors with the glowing tools and bridged broken sections. With strange, flexible metal strands, hours passed as he worked. The warriors stood in silence, watching him with careful eyes. Arya remained calm and patient, answering his questions whenever he spoke. At last, Liam pressed the final connector into place. The chest plate glowed brightly for a moment before settling into a steady hum. Arya looked at the redouts inside her helmet and nodded. "It is complete," she said. Liam let out a breath he had been holding. "So it works now." "It works better than before," Arya replied. "Your repairs are unconventional, but they make the armor more efficient. I will remember this." One of the warriors stepped forward and spoke rapidly in their language. Arya listened, then turned to Liam. "My people tell me our enemies are still near. They will come for this world. We must prepare." Liam felt a chill. "This colony doesn't have defenses for a real battle," he said. Arya's gaze was steady. "Then we will build them. You helped me when I was helpless. I will not allow your people to suffer from my war." Liam's mind raced. He was just a repairman. Yet now he was standing with an alien commander who wanted to fight to protect his world. The warriors began gathering supplies from the wreck. Some carried strange weapons, while others loaded salvage onto the ships. Arya stepped closer to Liam. "You have courage, even if you doubt it," she said softly. "My people will follow me, but they will also respect you. You have earned that." Liam shook his head. "I'm not a soldier." "No," Arya said, "but you are something rare. You are a builder, and right now, builders will decide whether This world stands or falls. Her words stayed with him as he helped them gather parts. For the first time, Liam felt that the things he had learned in quiet hours fixing broken machines might actually matter to more than just himself. As the sun set over the ridge, the alien ships prepared for departure. Arya placed her helmet back on and looked at Liam. "Come with us to the colony," she said. "Your people must know what is coming." Liam hesitated for only a moment, then he nodded. The ships rose from the ground, lifting him and Arya and her warriors into the darkening sky. The battle that had brought them together was only the beginning. The alien ships glided silently across the sky as they approached the human colony. Liam sat inside one of the vessels, his hands gripping the seat. Everything felt unreal. A few hours ago, he had been scavenging for scrap. Now he was flying with an alien commander and her army. The inside of the ship was bright and clean. Strange symbols glowed on the walls, and the air felt fresh as if the ship created its own perfect atmosphere. The warriors around him sat quietly, their weapons resting against their legs. They all looked disciplined and serious. Arya sat at the front, her repaired armor gleaming softly in the ship's light. She had her helmet off now, and her sharp eyes studied a floating display that showed maps and alien text. Liam watched her. For a moment, even sitting still, she had a presence that drew attention. The ship slowed as it descended toward the colony. The settlement was small, made of metal buildings and dusty roads. Farmers worked in nearby fields, unaware of what was about to arrive. When the ships landed, the colonists came running. They stopped at a distance, staring with wide eyes at the alien vessels. Some of them carried tools as makeshift weapons, unsure if this was an attack. Liam stepped out first, raising his hands to show there was no danger. "It's all right," he shouted. "They are friendly. They helped me." The colonists hesitated, but did not run. Then Arya stepped down from her ship, and every person went silent. She looked like a figure out of a story, her armor shining as if it belonged to another age. Her warriors followed, forming a protective circle around her. The settlement leader, an older man named Tomas, walked forward cautiously. "Liam, what is this?" he asked in disbelief. "They saved me," Liam said. "This is Arya. She is a commander of her people. Her ship crashed here, and I repaired her armor. She came to warn us. An enemy force is coming." Tomas looked at Arya with a mix of fear and respect. "An enemy force?" Arya stepped closer, her voice calm but firm. "Your world is in danger. The ones who attack me will not stop. They will come here next. You have little time." The colonists murmured nervously. Their settlement had no real weapons. They had never fought a battle. Arya turned to her warriors and gave an order in her language. At once, they moved to unload supplies from the ships. Strange containers and weapons were set on the ground. Some colonists stepped back in alarm. Liam walked over to Tomas. "She means to help us fight," he said. "She is serious. I saw her army kneel to her. She must be important." Tomas rubbed his beard. "I don't know if we can fight something like this," he said quietly. "You can," Arya said. Hearing his words, "You must. My people will defend you. But you must also defend yourselves. Liam has shown me that your kind can build. You can adapt. That will be your strength." Liam felt heat rise to his face as the commander spoke about him. He had never been the type to lead anything. Yet Arya spoke as if he mattered. The colonists slowly began to gather near the ships. Curiosity overcame fear as they looked at the alien weapons and tools. The warriors demonstrated some of the devices, showing how to assemble simple defenses. Arya walked with Liam to the edge of the settlement. "Your world is small, but it can be made strong quickly," she said. "The enemy will underestimate you. That is how we will win." Liam frowned. "I'm not a soldier. I've never fought anyone before." "You do not need to be a soldier," Arya said. "You are a builder. I need you to work with my people. Together, we can give your colony weapons and shields. You repaired my armor when no one else could. That same mind can save lives." Her words struck deep. Liam nodded slowly. "I'll do what I can," he said. Arya smiled faintly. "That is all anyone can ask." The rest of the day was spent turning the colony into a makeshift base. Liam worked with the alien engineers, figuring out how to connect alien power cells to human equipment. They created energy shields from spare farming equipment, mounted alien cannons on trucks, and built traps around the settlement. As night fell, the colonists gathered around fires, their fear slowly changing into determination. Children looked at the alien warriors with awe, while adults watched Liam as he worked tirelessly. Later that night, Liam sat by one of the ships, exhausted but unable to sleep. Arya joined him, her armor removed except for a light chest plate. She looked at the stars for a long moment before speaking. "My people fight because we must," she said softly. "But tonight, I see why we fight. You humans are not like us. You are unpredictable. That is why you are dangerous to our enemies." Liam gave a tired smile. "I never thought fixing armor would lead to this." Arya looked at him. Small choices often decide the fate of many. Before Liam could reply, an alarm sounded from one of the alien ships. A warrior ran over, speaking quickly in their language. Arya's expression hardened. She turned to Liam. "They are here. The enemy has found us." The colonists heard the alarm too. Fear spread through the crowd. But now, instead of hiding, they grabbed the makeshift weapons they had built. The settlement that had once been helpless was ready to fight. Liam stood up, his heart pounding. He was no warrior, but he knew he could not back down now. The sky to the east glowed red as enemy ships broke through the clouds. The battle for the colony was about to begin. The night sky turned red as enemy ships broke through the clouds. They moved like dark blades, their engines glowing in angry crimson. The colonists stared upward, fear rising in their chests. The sound of the approaching fleet grew louder until the air itself seemed to vibrate. Liam stood near one of the alien cannons he had helped mount on a transport truck. His hands shook, but he forced himself to stay calm. Around him, colonists gripped makeshift weapons while Arya's warriors prepared advanced defenses. Arya stepped forward, her helmet back in place. The faint glow from her armor made her look like a living beacon in the dark. She raised her hand, and her warriors immediately spread out to defensive positions. "Do not fire until I give the order," she commanded. Her voice carried the weight of authority. Tomas, the colony leader, moved to stand beside Liam. "I never thought our little settlement would see a real battle," he said quietly. Liam swallowed hard. "Neither did I, but we can do this. We build everything we could. It has to be enough." The enemy ships slowed as they neared the colony. Then, without warning, bright beams of energy shot toward the ground. Explosions tore through the fields near the settlement, throwing dirt and debris into the air. "Shields up," Arya ordered. Blue energy barriers flickered to life around key buildings. Liam saw the alien technology he had helped power spring into action. The shields held against the next barrage of fire, though they rippled under the impact. "Return fire," Arya said. Her warriors aimed sleek weapons toward the sky. Brilliant. Streams of light lanced upward, striking at the enemy ships. One ship wavered and exploded, sending burning fragments raining down. The colonists cheered, their fear briefly replaced by hope. But more enemy ships swooped lower, dropping soldiers in heavy armor. They landed with loud metallic thuds, their glowing red visors cutting through the night. "Positions," Arya shouted. The colonists fired their makeshift weapons while the alien warriors engaged the invaders in precise formation. Liam ducked behind cover and helped reload one of the cannons. The cannon roared, blasting a red-armored enemy soldier backward. A nearby colonist, a young woman named Mara, handed Liam more power cells. "Keep firing," she urged. "We can push them back." Liam nodded, focusing on the task. Every time the cannon fired, it sent shock waves through his arms, yet he refused to stop. Arya fought near the front lines, her repaired armor glowing with power. She moved with incredible speed, deflecting enemy fire with a shimmering energy shield while striking down attackers with precise blasts from her weapon. Her presence inspired both her warriors and the colonists. One enemy soldier broke through the defensive line, charging toward Liam and Mara. Liam grabbed a fallen weapon that looked like a curved rifle. Without thinking, he aimed and fired. bolt of blue light struck the attacker, sending him crashing to the ground. Liam stared at the weapon in shock. Mara grinned briefly. Not bad for a repairman. More enemy soldiers poured in, forcing the colonists to fall back slightly. The shields flickered under heavy bombardment. Liam, Arya called out as she moved toward him. We must power the secondary defenses now. Without them, the shields will fail. Liam ran with her to a cluster of strange alien generators. One had taken damage from enemy fire and was sparking violently. I can fix it, Liam said, grabbing his tools. Do it fast, Arya replied as she turned to cover him. Her weapon blazed, keeping enemy soldiers at bay. Liam opened a panel and saw burned-out circuits. Using parts from the salvage crate, he replaced damaged components. His hands moved quickly, his mind focused entirely on the repairs. The ground shook as another explosion hit nearby. Mara ran over, helping him hold wires in place. Almost there, Liam muttered. With a final connection, the generator hummed. To life, blue energy surged through the defenses, and the shields strengthened once again. Arya looked back and gave a quick nod. Good work. The renewed shields bought them precious time. The alien warriors launched a counterattack, supported by the colonists firing from cover. One by one, the enemy soldiers fell. Above, two enemy ships swooped lower, preparing to fire again. Liam turned to Arya. If they hit the generators, everything will fail. Arya's eyes narrowed behind her visor. Then we take them down first, she called out an order. And two of her warriors brought forward a massive weapon mounted on a tripod. They locked it into place, and Arya herself aimed it at the nearest ship, Liam. She said without looking at him, help me stabilize the power core. It is too much for one person. Liam ran to her side. She handed him a glowing module. When I say now, push it in and hold it steady. The enemy ship circled closer, charging its weapons. Now, Arya commanded. Liam shoved the module into place, his hands burning from the heat. The weapon roared to life, sending a brilliant beam of energy upward. The enemy ship exploded in a shower of fire. The second ship tried to flee, but Arya swung the weapon and fired again. Another explosion lit the sky. The colonists cheered as the remaining enemy soldiers began retreating toward their dropships. Arya lowered the weapon slowly, her breathing steady despite the effort. Liam stepped back, his arms aching. We actually did it, he said, barely believing his own words. Arya looked at him. This was only the first attack. They will come again, stronger than before. But now they know humans will not be easy to crush. The colonists gathered together, exhausted but alive. For the first time, they looked at Liam not as just a repairman, but as someone who had made a difference. As the fires of the battle smoldered in the distance, Arya walked to Liam. You see now, she said quietly, this fight is no longer just mine. It is yours too. Liam nodded slowly. Then I'll be ready when they come back. Above them, the stars shone cold and distant. The war for this small world had just begun. The battle smoke had barely cleared. When the colonists began to gather in the center of the settlement, they were exhausted, bruised, and covered in dust, but their eyes held a new fire. For the first time, they had fought and survived. Liam stood near the damaged generator, wiping sweat from his forehead. He could hardly believe how close they had come to losing everything. If the shields had fallen, the entire settlement would have been destroyed. Arya approached, her armor dimmed but still glowing faintly. She removed her helmet, revealing a face that showed both strength and weariness. You fought well, she told Liam, but they will not stop. This was only their first strike. Liam nodded. I know. We need to be ready for when they return. Arya looked around at the colonists. Your people need a leader. They will listen to you now. You gave them hope when they thought they had none. Liam frowned. I'm no leader. I just fix things. Arya's expression softened slightly. Sometimes, the one who fixes what is broken is exactly the leader people need. Tomas, the colony leader, stepped forward. She's right, Liam. You know more about their technology than any of us. You've seen what works. You helped turn farmers into fighters. Liam glanced around. Dozens of colonists were watching him. waiting for what he would say. The weight of their trust pressed down on him. He took a deep breath. All right. Then we're not going to wait for them to attack us again. We'll build more defenses. We'll make this place strong, stronger than they expect. The colonists murmured in agreement. Even the children seemed to sense that something important was happening. Arya placed a hand on Liam's shoulder. I will help you. My warriors will follow my orders. But we must work quickly. Scouts report that the enemy fleet is gathering. Again, they are preparing something far larger than before. Liam straightened. Then we build. We don't stop until we're ready. The following days were filled with relentless work. The once quiet colony became a busy construction site. Using alien power cells, Liam and Arya's engineers created energy turrets and reinforced shields. Colonists converted farming vehicles into armored transports. Liam discovered that many colonists had skills they had never used for battle. Mara, the young woman who had helped him reload the cannon, turned out to be an excellent mechanic. Tomas organized work shifts, making sure no one collapsed from exhaustion. At night, Arya trained the colonists in basic combat. Her warriors showed them how to aim, how to move together, and how to stay calm in a fight. Children watched from rooftops, inspired by the sight of their parents learning to defend their home. Liam spent long hours in the repair bay of one of the alien ships. He studied blueprints with Arya's engineers, learning how to modify alien weapons so humans could use them. At first, the designs were too complex, but Liam had a talent for making things simpler. Soon, even the least experienced colonists could fire an energy rifle. One evening, as Liam tightened a power conduit, Mara walked in carrying food. You've been working nonstop. She said, you should rest. I can't, Liam replied. If we don't finish these modifications, the next attack could wipe us out. Mara placed the food beside him. I know, but you're not alone in this anymore. We're all in it together. Her words made Liam pause. He looked at her. Then at the busy settlement outside the repair bay, everyone was doing their part. For the first time, he felt like this wasn't just Arya's war. It was their war too. 2 days later, Arya called a meeting. She stood at the center of the colony, surrounded by colonists and her warriors. Our scouts confirm the enemy has built a large strike force, she said. They will come soon. If we fall here, they will take this world. But if we hold, we will show them that humans are not prey. We are fighters. Liam stepped forward. We've built defenses they've never seen before. We have weapons, shields, and traps. We're ready, and when they come, we'll fight like this land belongs to us, because it does. Cheers rose from the crowd. Even Arya's warriors seemed moved by the colonists' determination. That night, as the colony prepared for the coming storm, Arya walked with Liam to the edge of the settlement. The stars above were cold and endless. You've changed, Arya said quietly. When I first met you, you only wanted to survive. Now you fight to protect. Liam gave a small smile. I guess I just needed someone to believe I could do more. Arya looked at him. My people once doubted humans. They thought your kind was weak. But now I see why the galaxy fears you. When humans decide to fight, they fight with everything they have. Before Liam could answer, one of Arya's warriors ran up, speaking quickly in their language. Arya's face hardened. They're coming, she said. A fleet larger than before. They will be here by morning. Liam stared at the dark horizon. His fear was still there, but it no longer controlled him. Then we'll be ready, he said firmly. The colony was a fortress now. Turrets lined the roads. Energy shields shimmered around the buildings. An armed colonists stood ready in defensive positions. As the night passed, tension grew heavy. Every distant sound made people grip their weapons tighter. Just before dawn, the sky began to glow red again. This time, there were more enemy ships than anyone had imagined. The fleet stretched across the horizon, a wall of fire and steel. Liam felt his heart race, but he forced himself to stand tall. He looked at Arya, who placed her helmet on and drew her weapon. This is where we stand, she said. Liam nodded. And this time, we don't just survive, we win. The sound of engines filled the air as the enemy descended. The second battle for the colony was about to begin. The morning sky turned crimson as the enemy fleet descended. Dozens of ships hovered above the colony, their engines roaring like thunder. This time, the enemy came prepared. Larger ships released swarms of drones that filled the air like dark clouds. Liam stood near the central defense station with Arya at his side. Colonists waited in their positions, weapons ready. The new turrets hummed with power, their barrels glowing as they charged. "Hold fire until they're in range," Arya commanded. Her voice was calm, steady. Her warriors followed her orders without hesitation. The first wave of drones dived toward the colony. "Now," Liam shouted. The turrets fired at once. Beams of blue light streaked through the sky, cutting down drones and bursts of fire. Colonists fired their weapons, their aim steady after nights of training. The enemy ships retaliated with powerful blasts that slammed into the shields. The energy barriers rippled but held firm. Liam checked the power readings. The generators were stable, but they would not last forever. Arya fought at the front, her glowing armor making her a beacon for both allies and enemies. Liam stayed near the command console, directing colonists where to focus their fire. "South. Side shield is dropping," Mara called from a nearby post. "Reroute power from the west." Liam ordered. His hands flew over the controls, redistributing energy to keep the shields balanced. Two enemy dropships broke through the defenses and landed outside the colony. Soldiers in red armor poured out, advancing quickly. "Arya, right flank," Liam shouted. Arya signaled her warriors, who moved with perfect coordination. Colonists joined them, forming a defensive line. The ground battle erupted as plasma fire streaked through the air. Liam grabbed a modified energy rifle and ran to a nearby barricade. He fired at an advancing soldier, the blast knocking the enemy backward. Mara joined him, reloading quickly and handing him power cells. "Keep firing," she said. "We can hold them." Liam took aim again. Each shot he fired was more confident than the last. He was no longer just fixing weapons. He was using them. Suddenly, a loud alarm blared from the command console. Liam looked back. The main generator was overheating. If it failed, the shields would collapse completely. "I have to fix it," Liam said. Mara shook her head. "It's too dangerous. If I don't, we're finished." Liam sprinted toward the generator, plasma fire whizzing past him. He slid behind cover and opened the generator panel. Sparks flew out, and the heat was intense. Arya noticed him and shouted, "Cover him!" Her warriors moved to block incoming fire, creating a protective barrier around Liam. With shaking hands, Liam replaced the overloaded capacitor with a spare part. The generator roared back to life, its energy surging into the shields again. The colonists cheered as the defenses stabilized. "Nice work," Mara yelled from the barricade. Liam didn't stop. He grabbed his rifle and rejoined the fight. Above them, enemy ships circled, firing relentlessly. Arya ordered her warriors to bring out the heavy tripod weapon again. "Liam," she called, "help me power it." Liam ran to her side. Together, they charged the weapon, its core glowing brighter and brighter. "Ready," Liam said. Arya aimed at the largest enemy ship and fired. A massive beam shot upward, piercing the ship's hull. It exploded in a shower of fire. The destruction of the flagship made the remaining enemy forces hesitate. Colonists saw their chance, pushed forward. Liam shouted, "Drive them back," with renewed courage. Humans and alien warriors fought side by side. Drones were destroyed one after another. Enemy soldiers fell under the combined fire of colonists and Arya's troops. One enemy commander tried to rally his soldiers, but Liam spotted him and aimed carefully. He fired a single precise shot, striking the commander's power pack. The enemy leader collapsed, his armor sparking. The remaining enemy forces began retreating toward their ships. Colonists cheered as Arya and her warriors advanced, forcing the attackers to flee. Within minutes, the battlefield was silent except for the crackling of fires. Liam lowered his weapon, his arms trembling from exhaustion. He looked around at the colonists. They were battered but alive. Arya removed her helmet, her face serious but calm. "We held the line. They will think twice before attacking again." Tomas approached, smiling for the first time in days. Liam, you saved us. Without you, we wouldn't have made it. Liam shook his head. We all saved each other. This was everyone's fight. Mara stepped forward, grinning. Still, you're the one who fixed the generator while bullets were flying. I'd say that makes you more than just a repairman. Arya placed a hand on Liam's shoulder. You have become what your people needed. A leader, a builder, and a fighter. Liam looked at the horizon. The enemy had retreated. But he knew this was not the end. They'll be back, he said quietly. Yes, Arya agreed. But now they know what humans can do. That night, as the colonists repaired their defenses and cared for the wounded, Liam stood beneath the stars. The sky was quiet again, but the memory of the battle burned in his mind. He understood now that this fight was not just for survival. It was for their right to live free on this world. And the next time the enemy came, Liam would be ready. The colony had survived the second battle, but everyone knew the war was not over. Scouts reported that the enemy fleet had retreated only to gather reinforcements. They would return with overwhelming force, strong enough to destroy everything. Liam stood inside the command center, staring at the holographic map of the system. Arya stood beside him, her expression serious. They will come again, she said. But if we wait here, we will be crushed. We must strike first. Liam nodded slowly. We can't just defend forever. If we want to survive, we have to take the fight to them. Tomas stepped forward. But we're farmers and builders, not soldiers. We don't have a fleet. We have their ships, Liam replied, pointing at the captured alien vessels. I've been repairing them. We can fly them. If we hit their command ship before they attack, we might end this war before it reaches our homes again. The room was silent as everyone considered his words. Then Mara spoke. I'll go. Someone has to pilot the second ship, one by one. Colonists volunteered. Even those who had never left the planet before stepped forward, ready to fight for their home. Arya placed her hand on the table. We do this together. Humans and my warriors. We strike their heart, and we end it. The following days were spent preparing for the final mission. Liam led teams of engineers to repair and modify the captured alien ships. Colonists trained as gunners and engineers. Arya's warriors drilled them in combat maneuvers. Liam spent hours learning how to pilot the alien craft. The controls were strange at first, but he adapted quickly. On the final night before departure, Liam walked through the quiet colony. Fires burned in the distance where damaged buildings were being rebuilt. Children slept while their parents stood watch, rifles in hand. Mara found him near the repaired generator. Nervous, she asked. A little, he admitted. But we can't stay here and wait for them to destroy us. We have to finish this. You've changed. Liam, Mara said with a smile. You're not just fixing things anymore. You're leading us. He looked at her. I'm only doing what has to be done. At dawn, the fleet took off. 3 captured alien ships, crewed by colonists and Arya's warriors, rose into the sky. The people of the colony watched in silence as their friends and family disappeared into the clouds. Inside the lead ship, Liam sat in the pilot's seat. Arya stood behind him in full armor, her hand resting on his shoulder. You are ready, she said. Liam nodded. Let's finish this. Hours later, the enemy fleet came into view. It was massive, far larger than before. At the center was a huge command ship, bristling with weapons. They haven't seen us yet. Mara said from the second ship. Good, Liam replied. We get close, hit them hard, and take out their command ship. If we destroy that, the rest will fall apart. The ships moved silently through space, using modified stealth systems that Liam had installed. They closed in on the enemy formation. Now, Liam ordered. The colonist ships opened fire. Bright beams of energy shot through the darkness, striking enemy vessels before they could react. Explosions lit up the black void as the first enemy ships were destroyed. The enemy fleet scrambled to respond, launching fighters to intercept. Keep moving, Arya commanded. Stay on target. Enemy fighters swarmed around them. Liam flew with surprising skill. Weaving through the chaos, Mara's ship covered him, blasting enemy fighters out of the sky. We're close to the command ship, Liam said. Everyone, Focus fire. The three ships poured everything they had into the massive enemy flagship. Its shields flickered as the combined attack tore through its defenses. But the enemy was not done. A huge energy blast struck Mara's ship, damaging its engines. Liam, keep going. Mara shouted over the comms. We'll cover you. No, we can't lose you, Liam said. You have to finish this, Mara replied firmly. Liam gritted his teeth and pushed the ship forward. He aimed directly for the command ship's reactor. Arya, prepare the main weapon, he said. Together, they charged the powerful beam cannon. Firing, Arya said. A blinding beam shot from the ship, piercing the command ship's core. For a moment, everything was silent. Then the enemy flagship exploded in a massive flash of light. One by one, the remaining enemy ships fell into disarray, their formations breaking without their leader. Many fled into hyperspace, leaving the battlefield behind. The colonist fleet had won. As the debris drifted in space, Liam sat back in his seat, breathing heavily. Arya looked at him with pride. You did it, she said. No, Liam replied. We all did it. Mara's damaged ship limped closer. Her voice came over the comms, weak but steady. Looks like you finished the job. Liam smiled. We're going home. When the ships returned to the colony, the people cheered louder than ever before. Children ran to greet their parents. Colonists hugged one another, tears in their eyes. Tomas stepped forward, looking at Liam. You've done more than fix machines. You've given us a future. Arya knelt before Liam. Her warriors followed her, bowing their heads in respect. You are more than a builder now, Arya said. You are a leader, a protector, and a friend to my people. Liam felt overwhelmed. I just did what needed to be done. No, Arya replied. You did what no one else could. The colonists began chanting his name. The sound filled the settlement, echoing across the fields and hills. Liam looked at the people he had fought beside. For the first time, he felt truly proud. This world was their home, and no one would ever take it from them again.